humanity is preparing to return to the moon. NASA's Artemis II mission, planned for early 2026, will send astronauts toward the moon for the first time in more than 50 years. However, this is not a landing mission. Instead, it is a critical test flight designed to prove that the new system built to carry humans beyond Earth actually works. 4 astronauts will travel around the moon on a journey lasting about 10 days, riding the most powerful crewed rocket ever constructed. In this video, we'll break Artemis II into 3 simple parts: the spacecraft, the mission plan, and the crew. The spacecraft. The rocket launching Artemis II is called the Space Launch System, or SLS. The design includes 2 massive solid rocket boosters attached to the sides and a large central core stage. The boosters resemble those used on the Space Shuttle, while the orange core stage holds the primary fuel and engines that push the rocket into space. Above the rocket sits the spacecraft called Orion, which is the vehicle that actually carries the astronauts. Orion has several main sections. At the bottom is the European Service Module. This part provides electrical power, oxygen, temperature control, and the propulsion that allows the spacecraft to maneuver in space. Above it is the Crew Module, the capsule where the astronauts live and work during the mission. The crew will remain inside this capsule for the entire journey. After returning to Earth, this capsule will be the only part of the spacecraft that comes back intact. At the very top is the Launch Abort System. If a major problem occurs during launch, this emergency tower can pull the crew capsule away from the rocket within seconds, potentially saving the astronauts' lives. The Moon. The mission plan. Artemis II follows Artemis I, the uncrewed test flight completed in 2022. That mission proved the rocket could fly, but NASA still needs to confirm that humans can safely operate inside it. This flight will allow astronauts to test many human-related systems, including communications, navigation, radiation protection, sleeping arrangements, eating, exercise, and even basic daily activities like using the restroom. The mission will launch from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39B in Florida, the same historic launch site used during the Apollo era. When the countdown reaches 0, the SLS will produce more thrust than any crewed rocket in history. After liftoff, about 2 minutes later, the solid boosters separate. Around 8 minutes into flight, the core stage shuts down and falls away. The upper stage then pushes Orion into orbit around Earth. Soon after, Orion separates and performs maneuvering tests, allowing engineers to confirm that the engines and navigation systems work correctly. Next comes the trans-lunar injection burn, the maneuver that sends the spacecraft toward the moon. NASA is using a special flight path called a free return trajectory. This means gravity alone will naturally guide the spacecraft back to Earth, even if something fails. The same principle that helped bring Apollo 13 astronauts home safely. The journey to the moon will take about 4 days. During the trip, astronauts will test emergency procedures and evaluate radiation protection systems, which are essential for future deep space missions and eventual travel to Mars. Artemis II will not land on the moon. Instead, the spacecraft will fly around the far side, the hemisphere never visible from Earth's surface, reaching a distance of roughly 230,000 miles from Earth. The closest approach will be only a few thousand miles above the lunar surface. After the flyby, Orion will head back toward Earth. Near the end of the mission, the crew module will separate from the service module and re-enter the atmosphere, finally splashing down in the Pacific Ocean, where recovery teams will retrieve the astronauts. Total mission duration, about 10 days. The crew. 4 astronauts will fly aboard Artemis II. Reed Wiseman, the mission commander, is a former U.S. Navy pilot and experienced astronaut with extensive time spent in space. Victor Glover, serving as pilot, is a test pilot and engineer who has flown multiple aircraft, and previously lived aboard the International Space Station. Christina Koch, a mission specialist, holds the record for one of the longest single space flights by a woman and has conducted numerous scientific experiments in orbit. Jeremy Hansen, representing Canada, is also a mission specialist. He is a military pilot and physicist, and this mission will be his first journey into space, a remarkable first flight, taking him all the way to the moon. Launch timing. The first launch opportunity is expected in early 2026. Because humans are on board, NASA may delay the launch if even small technical issues appear. Safety takes priority, so multiple countdown attempts are possible before liftoff. Why Artemis II matters. Artemis II is more than just a flight around the moon. It is the step that proves humans can safely travel beyond low Earth orbit again. Future Artemis missions will attempt lunar landings and eventually establish a sustained human presence near the moon. In other words, this mission is the bridge between the Apollo era and the next age of deep space exploration. After half a century, humans are finally preparing to return. And this time, we are not just visiting the moon, we are preparing to stay.